Few ever journey to the frozen edge of northern Sweden during the sacred days of the Saint Lucia celebration. So when little Ingrid was offered the chance to visit her grandparents in the secluded village of Lusmira, she eagerly followed her father, unaware of the ancient vigil that awaited her on the night before Lucia. This village lies in the coldest, darkest corner of Sweden, where the longest night of the year is alive with shadows. Animals start talking in the barn, and the men stay awake in their homes in a night-long vigil. Here the winter light fades almost as soon as it rises. The snow-laden roofs, crooked pine forests, and old timber houses huddle close together as if they were trying to keep warm. Lusmira was named, the elders insist, after the ancient bog, Myron, that once spread across the valley. They say that in the old times, before churches arrived, Lussi, the feared winter witch, would soar over those dark waters on the longest night of the year, shrieking as she hunted down anyone who had been lazy with their winter preparation. Lusmira is a place where the people believe that the darkness has a will of its own. And even today, long after Christianity reached these frozen lands, the God-fearing villagers remain respectful towards their lore. They attend church at dawn but leave extra food for their animals in the barn to last them through the night. They pray but also whisper warnings passed down from their ancestors. In Lusmira, faith and folklore live side by side. Always have, always will. This winter, a little girl, Ingrid, arrived in Lusmira to visit her grandparents' place for the very first time. She had read about St. Lucia in her books back home, about the girl crowned with candles, walking through the darkness, bringing food and light. But here, in this lonely snow-covered village, she sensed the celebration meant something more. She first noticed it when she walked through the village with her father. Strange masked figures stood at street corners, children and even grown men dressed as little demons, goats, or spirits. They rattled sticks, played tricks, and demanded small treats or coins.
It's like Halloween,
She whispered to her father, but he shook his head. No, my girl, this is different, he explained. These traditions have survived from the times when our people feared what lurked in the dark. These pranks were meant to keep the spirits away, or to distract them. That night, on the 12th of December, Ingrid was introduced to the Lussevaka, the vigil of Lucia night. Her grandfather explained it in the warm glow of the fireplace, his voice low and steady.
Long ago, this night was the darkest, most dangerous night of the year. The animals would grow uneasy. The wind would scream through the trees, and Lucy herself was believed to fly overhead, counting the faults of men and children and punishing the ones who had been naughty.
Her grandmother added quietly,
On this night, no woman lifts a finger. We do not sew. We do not bake. We do not even wash a cup. Lucy might see the light from the window, think we are ignoring the old warnings, and come for us.
Ingrid shivered, glancing at the frosted glass. A storm was gathering outside, and the house creaked as if something heavy pressed against it. Her father, grandfather, and uncle began preparing the Lussekatter, the golden saffron buns she loved so much. It was the duty of the men on this night, as it had always been in Lusmira.
how unfair. I wanted to see how you make them. I want to help stick the raisins.
Ingrid whispered. Her grandmother smiled gently.
Tradition keeps us safe, my dear. You will still get to hand out the buns tomorrow, but tonight you must rest.
But sleep did not come easily. The storm roared, and Ingrid swore she heard laughter, wild, angry, echoing over the rooftops. The kind of laughter that made her hide beneath the covers. When the wind died down for a moment, she heard something else, a strange rustling from the barn. Her grandparents had told her earlier,
Tonight, the animals receive an extra share of food, for it is said that at midnight they may speak with the spirits who pass through.
Ingrid squeezed her eyes shut. She didn't want to hear the voices in the barn. When morning finally came, the world outside had softened into a quiet white peace. Her bedroom was filled with the pale blue glow of winter dawn. Beside her bed lay her freshly pressed white Lucia robe, warm and crisp, carefully prepared by her father. Ingrid dressed with trembling excitement. The fear of the night before felt far away now. The church bells rang, calling the villagers. Snowflakes drifted gently as Ingrid stepped out, joining the procession. And then she saw her, the Lucia girl, slightly older than Ingrid, walking slowly down the church aisle, crowned with a wreath of glowing candles. Her face was calm, serene, shining against the darkness. The choir behind her sang the old Lucia song, their white gowns shimmering like spirits of light. The candles illuminated the church walls, pushing back the shadows that clung to the old rafters. Her grandfather whispered,
Saint Lucia brought light to those hiding in the catacombs, and she brings it to us now on this night of old fears. We honor both our faith and our past.
Ingrid watched in awe. She understood, finally, why Luhusmira kept its traditions, why the villagers feared the darkness yet welcomed the light with such reverence. Lucia was not just a celebration. It was a shield, a promise that light would return, a reminder that even the longest night cannot swallow hope. As the procession moved forward, Ingrid stepped proudly to hand out the Lussevaka her family had prepared as the adults drank glögg. And for the first time, she felt part of something ancient, something that belonged to the village long before she was born. A story of darkness and light, fear and faith, winter and warmth. A story Lussevaka would keep alive for generations.
If you like this story, please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more.